I made it very clear to the guy. I was like, look, I don't need this. I don't even know why I'm here. I make more money than this on one show. This is crazy. I think I'm just trying to prove something to myself. And he was like, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting for years, and I've held this song because you're the one that has to sing it.
That, of course, is Grammy Award winner Gretchen Wilson, and we had a chance to get some really deep discussions going about not just her music, but everything else that she does. She's quite the extraordinary business person. And
yeah, so many nuggets in there.
Just has great insight on a lot of stuff, too. And some of her new projects that she's working on, I think, are you'll have fun listening to, right? And
she's like, you just keep peeling back all these layers with her, right? Yeah. And you just keep learning so much. And you love her when you meet her, and then the more and more you talk to her, you're like, oh my gosh, like I just want to be around you all the time.
Yeah.
She's one of those people.
She's one of those. She's so low key, right?
Yeah,
about her success and where she stands in this business.
Oh, yeah.
And she's a giant, and you'd never know that just by talking to her.
Yeah.
Thanks to Simon Says again for the outfit. Once again, Mobby Pants and stuff. And so, I mean, they're killing it down there at Wedgwood, Houston. And I'm not going to get into all the brands. I'm just going to say it's a lot of stuff that you don't find in any other store. And it's really easy to laid out easy so you can find stuff quick. And
I love this for you.
Yeah, Simon Says. So very good.
My outfit today is by Carrie.
By Carrie. Carrie Says.
Carrie Says.
There's Simon Says, and then there's Carrie Says.
See, I always show up in my mama form, right? I'm in my leggings.
Sure.
I've been to Pilates.
In your life.
Yeah. And Carrie's like, no. Come here, I'm going to put this on you. And so she dresses me.
Okay.
So I'm thankful for her.
Well, you look terrific.
Thanks.
She did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
Carrie Says and Simon Says are two that we stand by very much.
Oh, here comes Layla.
So let's get right to it. Here is Gretchen Wilson. I think one of the coolest things I ever saw in this town was up at White Bridge Road. We were at that house.
That house.
And
that wasn't really
that Rattlesnake Lounge. And it was you and Loretta Lynn talking.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That was to me one of the coolest things because the way you guys both had kind of a similar path in life, right? Coming from nothing and making yourself into these.
I'll tell you one of the most
figures.
astonishing things I would say, looking back on my entire career, and there's been some really amazing. Gosh, I've probably forgotten as many things as I've stored, but I think the most amazing thing to me is just how some of my icons, my people that I just loved and looked up to as a child just kind of took me under their wing. They really just welcomed me into this industry. And, I could have made, and a lot of people do it that way. They get into Nashville, they make a lot of friends writing songs, and then that little group of people kind of, come up knowing each other. And it's really not the way it happened for me. I met a very small group of people, and then I wrote a song and name dropped, and all of a sudden they showed up.
Off and running.
And who writes their very first song and writes, Hank and Kid Rock's name into it, and then they just show that's happened to be in the first video too. Which, by the way, we were all looking at our watches like, do you think he's going to show? Do you think he's going to show?
Oh, really?
Tell that full story, please.
Well, it was just, I knew that Bobby was going to be there because Bobby had joined the Music Mafia. He was a friend of ours, and he already said yes. But it was kind of up to Bobby to ask Hank. Even Bobby himself, he was like, well, I played him the song, he really likes the song. He loves, your whole style and what you're doing. But, Hank is Hank, sometimes he don't even show up to his own shows. So I can't guarantee you he's going to show up here or not. So, but very last minute, he came into the set and walked into the trailer, and I was just telling you about Candy, who I've worked with for 20 years, and he just basically looked at her and took his ball cap off and said, can you do something about this beard? And she was not prepared, but we made it work.
What were you doing at this point when all this is happening? Are you just sitting there thinking like, this is my life now?
I was busy. I was working with a big time director that they hired in to do the video. Somebody who was, he was a lot.
It wasn't Deaton, was it?
No, this was, I worked with Deaton
I know you did
and
on
Flanagan
videos.
on every other video, but the very first video we had a guy named David.
That's okay.
I can't remember his last name right now. It'll come to me, but he's like a big Hollywood type guy, and Hogan.
David Hogan.
And he came in, and wow, he was, I mean, I think I know now, just from that one experience, what it must be like to work on a Hollywood film set. You know, just the angst and the craziness about that guy. But so yeah, I mean, when everybody else was waiting to see if Hank was going to show up, I was busy mudding, you know, because that was part of the video too.
You didn't have time to freak out.
My entire career has just been freaking out on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of one of the sayings on my bus, you know, that me and my band guys have. You know, I just look at them all the time and I go, I'm freaking out right now. I'm just freaking out.
That's so cool. We got here in 96, both of us. We arrived in this town. And when I got here, I used to hang out with a bunch of guys, and they used to rent a warehouse over off 440 every weekend, and they'd all get together on stage and jam. One of them was like Big Kenny, and there were a bunch of other artists. And then you meet the same guys when you get to town as well, and this whole music mafia thing forms. What a stroke of luck or lightning, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was resistant in the beginning. I was bartending at Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar, and I was making a pretty good living. It's hard as hell to land a job there. It's kind of like you get grandfathered into the positions, and I don't really know how because the hardest drink I ever had to make in Pocahontas was a Jack and Coke. You know, there was nothing, nobody even knew how to even say the word Mai Tai. I didn't have to worry about anything like that.
Could you smoke my bourbon, Gretchen, please?
You're like, thank God.
No, it was.
I can smoke a lot of things, but not bourbon. Yeah.
Bush Light in a mug, you know. I mean, the biggest decision that people had to make was, do they want a 60-cent glass or a 75-cent mug of Bush today, you know? So... but I just lied my way into it, like most things in life. I was like, sure, I can do it. And luckily there was one old broad that worked there. Her name was Barbara, and she could see the first night I was in the weeds, and I looked shell-shocked. And she just kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, honey, when in doubt, just make it pink and sweet. And if a customer says anything about it, just say that's how we make it here. Next. And so that's what I did.
So you did that.
It got me through.
That's really good advice.
That's kind of fun.
That's how we make it here.
But you ended up writing a whole bunch of songs with John Rich, right?
Yes.
And I remember when he was voted off the island called Lone Star, and everyone was like, man, that guy's going downhill. But it turned out to be his freedom.
Well, I don't really think, I mean, and I don't know if I know the story correctly, but I don't think it was like voted. It wasn't.
It's him. It was just there was only room for one. Yes,
there were too many lead singers in that
Rich,
band,
and
John was offered a solo deal of his own at that time, which I would have taken that deal. It sounded like a pretty good idea. And actually, that project is still to this day, one of my favorite projects that John's ever done. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, he's a great vocalist. He really is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an incredible songwriter, but he's a great vocalist as well. And that really shows off different than Big and Rich. Very different than the Big and Rich stuff. It's a real country vocal. Yeah. And it's really good. It's my favorite stuff. But yeah, I don't know whether the label didn't want to get behind him. That's my guess. And we all know what corporate's like. I mean, they'll tell you one thing and do another every time. I was very lucky to get out of my record deal. I mean, I was signed to the same 7-album deal that the Dixie Chicks were signed to. And and a lot of people, I think they hear 7 albums, they think 7 years, but that's not the case. 7 albums is pretty much your career. Right. Because the label gets to decide when those albums get turned in and what is a complete album. So, it could take 5 years to satisfy the label head. And usually the label head is someone who has absolutely no musical talent at all whatsoever. Right. Can't even tap their foot in time.
So you got
and these
out
are
of
the
that.
guys making the decisions, so it's very difficult.
And the money.
Yeah,
I mean, these first deals that you might make are so weighted toward them and not you as the artist. It takes years to pay back.
Yeah, the biggest surprise is just the business end of the music business. I don't think any young, hopeful, creative person who moves to Nashville is really thinking about how much business there is in the music business.
Right. But you got out of that.
I got out of that deal. Yeah. Luckily, I found some errors and some things that gave me some leverage, and I was able to go in and say, I'd like these things to happen, and if these things don't happen, then I'd like to renegotiate or even just shake hands and call it a day.
That takes balls to do that.
Well, I had some pretty good leverage.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, a young country artist going in there.
Well, it cost me. It cost me a great deal. I had to drop an audit, and I had to purchase the tracks that I had been tirelessly working on for like several years. That every time I turned in weren't good enough. And that record I ended up putting out on my own label a year later. My label that I still have, Redneck Records, and that album still one of my favorites. I Got Your Country Right Here record.
But it also gives you total control over your whole career and anyone else that you want to help out along the way.
It is. It's total control, but it's also total bankroll. I mean, that means that, because essentially the label is a bank with a really, really high interest rate. That is what you can really kind of narrow it down to. Mm-hmm. And, back then when I got signed, you needed that. You needed to have that sort of machine behind you in order to. Nowadays things are so different. Nowadays, you can just become a YouTube star and you're off to the races, which is great. That's incredible. I mean, I'm glad things are that way now, but it wasn't that way then. You had to have that almighty, all-powerful bankroll behind you.
So about this time, this is when you sat down and you wrote the song.
Redneck Woman came along after I had been, I think I'd been turned down by every label in Nashville at least once. Sony turned me down twice before they signed me.
Another overnight success story, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But, I mean, Redneck Woman was the song that kind of changed everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was just an attitude that women like me just weren't being spoken to. They weren't being praised. They weren't being spoken about. Men love their country redneck women. Men where I'm from, like, they're so proud of their women. They're like, my honey can take out the trash and cut the grass and fry up some bacon and eggs and still purties up and goes out on Saturday night bowling with me. I mean, they love that. And that's something to be proud of. And
well, there's also
nobody was catering to that. And those women, I think, were feeling left behind. I certainly was.
Yeah.
Well, and there's something to be so proud of for that for you, because you were staying true to yourself. And when you were finally true to yourself with this, that was what helped you break through.
It's when I found my voice too. Yeah. I think it's when I discovered who I was as a
set the tone for the rest of the career, right?
As a vocal, look, I'd spent my whole life singing other people's songs, and other people were measuring how good I was based on how much like those other people I sounded. When you're a cover artist, people walk up to you after your set and they say, oh my gosh, you're so good. You sounded just like Melissa Etheridge when you sang that song. And then you turned around and you sounded just like Ann Wilson when you sang that song, So you're so good because you can sound like all these people. And it was moving here, even though I wasn't a baby. Most people get signed and get their career off and going in their early 20s, if not late teens. Mm-hmm. I was late 20s when things started happening.
I heard you tell a story, and I'm envisioning, like, when they make the movie about your life, this is going to be the opening scene of the movie. And it was Taste of Country Nights. You were talking, I don't know the host's name, it was a couple of years ago, but you were talking about the first time you heard Redneck Woman on the radio. And it's just it almost gives me chills bringing it up, because it's really, it really explains when you're at rock bottom.
So the label didn't want me working anymore. Doing what I was doing was singing demos. Trisha Yearwood was the big demo singer in town for many, many years. And then when she got signed, of course, all these publishers and songwriters, they're like, well, now our songs are tainted because Trisha's voice is on it. No other artist is going to want to cut it because there's a huge artist, talented singer star on it. So I went in and replaced a lot of Trisha's vocals because I was an unknown, and I had a voice that nobody heard of. So that, that was and I was making a pretty good living doing that. And when I first got signed, they said, no more, you cannot record your vocal. It's a part of the, 400,000 page agreement that you sign that you hope your lawyers are actually reading. And it just said in there, your voice, it wasn't to stop me from earning a living, but they didn't want my voice being recorded. So I couldn't go out and do that anymore. So I was struggling. I was driving a little Isuzu, I think, red rodeo vehicle. Grace was a baby, still small enough. I remember that I was carrying around in what I call a pumpkin seat. I don't even know if they call those that anymore, but it's the thing that moves from the car to the stroller to the, they live in them pretty much when they're kids for a while. But car was repossessed in the middle of the night, and the guy was nice enough to knock on the door and let me get my baby things out of there.
Oh my gosh.
When I started the vehicle to get things out, Redneck Woman is playing on the radio, and I was like, I can't believe this is happening at the same time,
the first time you heard it.
I'm like, there it is.
My gosh.
It's getting played on the air. and my car's getting repossessed, and my kid's in the house crying, and I'm out of formula, and what the hell is going on here? Yeah, this is my life. And it, you know, things happened so fast after that's probably the last time that I was shocked by almost anything.
That is an incredible story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And then you call your brother up, and just because you're like, he had doubts of whether you can make it in the career, and then and he's crying because he had just heard it on the radio too.
Yeah. He was like, I heard it too, Gretch. I heard it. I can't believe it. You're going to be a star.
Did you run in and tell Grace, baby girl, this is it?
Well, you know,
she
was very young, you know, probably only 1.5 years or 2 years old, you know, and it was crazy. It was just crazy times. I don't really remember what I did. Started thinking about the future.
Yeah.
Started thinking about, you know, what to do next.
Yeah.
You know, how is my life going to change?
Did you take some deep
thanking
breaths?
God, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
How does a little girl that comes from, you know, a 12 by 60 trailer park with just chaos, just a chaotic, crazy, I mean, Jerry Springer could not have dreamt this up.
Your childhood?
No. I mean, it was just insanity.
How so?
Oh, just my mother was 16 when she had me, and so by the time I was 8, 9, 10 years old, she had 2 kids. You know, she was reverted back to her childhood, started becoming kind of a nightmare, and so, you know, by the time I was 12, I was the mom, I was the mother of the house, and I've been, you know, kind of an adult since then.
Yeah. And now you drive into Pocahontas, and your name's actually bigger than the town on the sign going into.
They may have taken that. They may have taken that down.
Really? Okay, whatever.
There's a few old hags in Pocahontas that still don't like me.
That's all right. There's
no.
only 640 that could possibly not like you, so you're good.
Yeah, I mean, but if I think the one that don't like me works at the post office, so that's kind of.
She has a lot of pull in Pocahontas. Right? She's the Pocahontas princess.
She's like that old winch. I think she throws away fan mail.
But okay, now let's focus forward. Now you just won the Masked Singer, and it was kind of the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it was and you, humble as always, you were like, I felt like the other guy should have won and wanted to give him the trophy because
he was so cool. And
Andy Grammer.
And you would think that there's no way that they keep this all quiet, but they do. I had no idea who he was until the moment that he took that mask off. He had no idea but we kind of had this character romance going backstage because we're in this little pipe and drape, and they're serious about it. They will not open that drape until they get the all clear from your costume people that your mask is on and that you are completely, hands and everything, covered. You do not leave anywhere without being completely covered from head to toe. Not even a bit of skin on your ankle can show, but you can hear, you know, rehearsals and stuff. And so I just remember for the weeks that I was out there, anytime that we would pass each other in the hallway, even coming from and going to stage, Andy Grammer, who I knew as Boogie, Boogie would put his hand up, and he'd be like, I don't know who you are, Pearl, but you got it, man. You're so cool. And I'd be like, Boogie, you got this thing wrapped up. I'm voting for you. And so I even wrote notes to him, and they had to go ask the producers, is it okay if Pearl writes a note to Boogie Woogie?
Because he might recognize your handwriting.
Well, yeah, but so they said, if you write it with your left hand, and so I had to write with my left hand and say, great job, Boogie. You deserve to win. Love, Pearl. And I thought they would use it in some of the B-roll. I know they shot it, but I don't know if they ever aired it. But no, I had to watch every week, just like everybody else, to see who was on there.
Who was the most surprising to you?
Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah.
I have to say,
no hesitation.
As a kid growing up in South Miami, off and on, you know, and just being a part of the Cuban culture and all of that, I always knew who Oscar De La Hoya was.
Absolutely.
Even went to Discovery Cove one time when Grace was a little kid and had that dolphin swim experience, and the dolphin that she got to have her experience with, his name was Oscar. His mother's, the dolphin's name was Toya, so they named him Oscar de la Toya.
Oh my God.
Isn't that so cute?
That's
Speaking
adorable.
Of the Masked Singer, I brought,
oh, yes.
I brought
you brought goodies.
Well, you would think that I would bring the mask trophy is, I mean, nothing
It's
against
big.
the CMAs or even the Grammys, but your trophies are kind of rinky-dink compared to the Masked
Is it legit?
Well, it's this big, like,
it is amazing.
masked
I want you guys to
heart-shaped
see
thing.
actually what
Okay.
you have to go through. Now this is before you get out of the car.
Okay.
Before you leave your pipe and drape.
No.
Oh, this is the visor you have to wear.
This is when you're not in costume. You have to put on all of this. And I know this is going to take just a second.
It's fine.
It's worth it.
This is so wild.
So everybody that's with you too, because they might recognize your publicist.
Says don't talk to me.
Don't talk. Do you wear that just for fun now?
Yeah. Can I borrow that? I just
So this stays in this.
I want that
gym
on a
bag.
hat.
I do too. I just
But I want you to also look through this visor. I want you to see that they have blacked out everything except for the eye holes.
Oh my gosh.
Holy.
So
Well, actually, it makes you
also
look
have
better.
to put on
Okay,
these.
right?
Now, mind you, you're in
Like a stormtrooper.
You're in Hollywood, California, so it's hot, hot, hot. But you have to put on all of this. They tape this down, and then the hoodie and the mask. And if even a piece of hair is showing, you get turned around
Oh
and
my
put back in.
gosh.
They are
So this
so
is
serious.
the way you move around.
You look
Socks.
like you look like the Unabomber.
You
And-
look terrified.
And not even the neck can show. So they'll like send you back in and tie you up tight. And
Holy
this is
crap.
how you move around.
Because they don't want to see your
Gretchen,
skin
this
color.
is the coolest thing.
They don't want to see
I
your hair.
have video of me doing choreographed dance rehearsals in this.
What's easier to perform in this or
I can't
the pearl
believe
mask?
that.
Is
but
pearl-
now I get it, right? I always wondered about
So
that.
yeah, so even when you're arriving, if you see Boogie Woogie or whoever it might have been in their costume,
Yeah.
Coral, you're either going to see them in full costume or like this, and you're not allowed to speak. So how would you ever know?
You wouldn't.
I had a friend who was on the show too, and I never knew this.
No, I didn't either.
I never saw that.
Okay, what's
before.
easier to perform in? The pearl mask or that?
This was there were a few days where they're like, okay, we're doing stage blocking.
Yeah.
So for the first run through today, you do not have to put on the full costume. We'd like you to wear the head and the shoes, but the rest of it can be this, you know.
What does it feel like in there?
Heavy,
Yeah.
very hot.
Yeah.
Just very awkward.
Yeah.
It's really a bicycle mask up underneath. They put this head on you, and then they reach under there, and they go, and they tighten, and then they say, okay, wiggle, because you know you got to dance.
Like
And
a bobblehead.
So if you feel it moving, they tighten it some more, and they pinch you
And
sometimes.
how long you have to keep that on
Um,
for the whole show?
well, yeah, I mean, it's like 4 times a day, 12-hour days for almost a month, no days off.
Is this the stuff you were working on before when we were trying to get you in here to do this? Is that what you were like, I can't talk about that? Or is that the next?
This is around CMAs,
Is this the
right?
road? We'll get to the road in a minute.
Yes. So I filmed The Masked Singer so long ago, it seems like another lifetime. And then I had to just sit on it. I mean, it was October and November of last year.
Yes.
And I couldn't talk about it until
okay.
May, until the finale. I couldn't talk about it.
Do you remember this? We were texting her about the CMAs, and she was like, "No, I won't be there." And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah,
"What?"
yeah.
And she was like, "No, it's okay that I'm not going to be there. I have something bigger."
That was
Right.
it. Okay.
I
And
have
that was
something
it.
bigger going on, but I can't talk about it
Yeah,
yet.
That's crazy. That you have to sit on it for that long.
what
Not
makes
like
me-
put it. You almost forget about it.
What I
right?
don't understand is how really Fox. I mean, I get it. That's the whole concept of the whole show. But
Right.
without being able to talk about it, how do you market? How do you drum up? You know what I mean? They must have a really great like business thing going on with Hulu, because once then I could say, hey, I won season 13 of The Masked Singer. You can watch it on Hulu, but that kind of cuts Fox out of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
I mean,
the
the show-
business person in me going,
Yeah, yeah.
Right, but the show's so popular, right? It
huge,
makes more sense for them to keep it that way than to like.
I got to admit, I never watched the show before. I never did. And then when I said, okay, I'll do it, then I was like binge watching.
I gotta
was
watch
like,
it now.
Yeah, I need to see what this is all about.
What was your favorite song to perform as Pearl?
The final one.
Yeah.
Because it was requested by one of the directors or producers of the show on the first day that I got there. I made it very clear to the guy. I was like, look, I don't need this. I don't even know why I'm here. I make more money than this on one show. This is crazy. I think I'm just trying to prove something to myself. And he was like, I'm so glad you're here. I've been waiting for years, and I've held this song because you're the one that has to sing it. And when he told
That's
me...
a compliment.
Yeah, and when he told me, I was like, that's insane, because I've always wanted to sing that song, but it just had no place in my show.
Yeah.
Or in any band that I was ever in.
I
for
bet
that
it has a
matter.
place now.
I don't know.
What song
Okay.
was it? Tell everyone.
It's an old song by the Pretenders.
Yeah.
I stand by you. I stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. You know that song?
Yeah, I know the song. My arm hairs are standing up on end right now. Gretchen.
When you get back up, pull that microphone and close again. But that
was beautiful.
I don't think you get enough credit for your vocal range and your talent in front of the microphone. I think everyone associates you with the high power energy songs, girl power songs. They don't understand that you can go a lot of different places with your
range,
voice, right?
Yeah.
So and we hear it in your stuff, right?
I mean, everybody gravitates towards the songs
The anthems
that they know. Yeah.
Right.
There'll never be a concert that I get to do that I don't end with Redneck Woman. You
Absolutely.
know?
How do you feel about that?
It's good. It's good, and the reason it's good is because of the excitement and how much the fans love that song, and I'm very proud of it. I mean, it's the it song for me. I'm really proud of it. It says a lot. I'm also very proud of a lot of the other things that I've done that I think a lot of people who genuinely think they're Gretchen Wilson fans don't know the first thing about me, actually. Right. They don't really know the depth of who I am and how many plates I'm actually spinning in the air all the time.
Right.
And I've got a lot of plans for the future. There'll come a time when, this old body gives up on going out there and getting on a tour bus and sleeping in a coffin. But there are other things. I know that God did not give me this crazy life with this just insane upbringing and the ability to navigate and to end up okay on the other side. He didn't hand me all of this just to be a country music singer. I'm absolutely positive that God's design for me is something a lot bigger and a lot more powerful than that. And this is just the stepping stone to get to that. And now in my 50s, I'm starting to get more comfortable with the idea that it isn't just this, that there's a lot more still to do. And I'm starting to get involved in that now. Yeah. I think spiritually, mentally, all the way around.
I heard you say something in another interview where you said that you weren't even really sure about doing The Masked Singer, but you felt like it was a test for you.
Yeah.
Because you've been through some hard times lately. You were in a wheelchair.
Well, I'm one of those, I'm a long hauler. I'm a COVID long hauler. I was one of the first to get it.
This stuff's real.
Yeah.
And it left me with medical issues that I did not have before. I currently have asthma. I did not have asthma before.
Not good for a singer.
Not good. Very difficult to navigate. The inhalers and the whole thing, and just breathing treatments, and I also have high blood pressure. A lot of these things are starting to figure their way back out and down now. They were amplified by the fact that I had broken my leg severely and was sitting in a wheelchair. So I gained a lot of weight. And so with the extra weight, it made the asthma worse. It made the blood pressure significantly worse. And so it was like, it's kind of like I got just hit with a whammy of like several things all at once. And it just took a long time for me to find the right doctors, the right cardiologist, first of all. Somebody who could understand that all it took was a panicky phone call, and my blood pressure was going to 192 over 140.
Oh, my gosh.
That's like you're about to blow
attack.
up. Yeah, you're going to blow up. And my face would just swell and turn bright red. And I went through this for a very long time, until I finally found the right doctor who just realized that, you might only be 48 years old, but you need to be on 100 milligrams of a beta blocker. Like, that's the only thing that's going to work. Most of the doctors just didn't even want to hear that. They were like, there's no way that you need that kind of medication.
Right. Thank God they found that.
They did. And so with the right medication, then I was able to start moving a little bit and able to, get the weight off. But I mean, it was very frustrating to have some of my good friends, I'd call and I'd be like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. And they'd be like, well, you need to get off your ass, and work out. And
oh my God.
No, if I could come through the phone and strangle you right now, I would, because you don't know how bad I want to get off my ass.
But those are good friends, right? Those are the friends that just keep you going.
Yeah, it was
right?
like, I can't do that. I'll die, And so, it was it was a long struggle. But now, the weight has come down, the blood pressure has come down, because it just like everything happened all at the same time, it's all connected on the way out too. So saying yes to The Masked Singer was, to me, like, if I can do that, then there's still a possibility that I can get back out and tour, that I'll be able to go out there and do a 75-minute show on, in Yuma, Arizona, and
not wearing a giant mask,
degrees. Right. And these are things I've never done. Dancing, choreographed dancing and the salsa. I
killed it.
On a bum ankle.
Yeah.
Like on a bum ankle, that's not easy.
It's not easy with the extra weight and all of that. So really, I said yes to it because I wanted to prove to myself I could do it. I had no idea that I could win it. But, once I got into the final like 6, I was like, I ain't quitting now.
Yeah.
I'm staying. I'm sticking it. But I was exhausted.
I bet.
I think I dropped 20 pounds being out there.
Yeah.
So you proved yourself. What's next? You
got
the road?
I don't know. I mean, I've been through so
Is the road all done filming?
The road, so season 1 is, and I really hope that we get picked up for another season. That was a lot of fun. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the contestants, but really I learned a lot about Blake and Keith out there, and just
Tyler Sheridan
and
Taylor Sheridan, right?
And Taylor Sheridan.
That's good.
He was on set a few times.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to meet him.
Right.
I know every girl in the world wants to know what he's like. And
I mean, he's a genius.
He is a genius
with Yellowstone, and
he's very
Landman.
very good looking dude.
Yeah.
Very good looking dude. Very powerful. Very in control. Owns the room when he walks in. That's for sure. He's a very powerful presence. And he's smart. Like I said, he was only on set a few times to see kind of what was going on, and he only had a few things to say, but they were important things, and everybody paid attention. And
you can't talk about it, right? But
this is something they've already said that they're doing promos and everything, so I can talk about it.
Do you like the artists that you got to mentor? Was that interesting to you, teaching them how to perform?
I had nothing to do with how they got selected.
No, you were the tour manager.
I just got pulled in and said, here are the creatives. And this is the band that's going to be backing them up. And, this is your producer. And here's how this is going to go. It's kind of like any other show, except it's not like any other show because we're moving them on a bus, moving them from town to town to town. It's not anything like those other singing competitions. I think those people are staying in like 5-star hotels and performing in the same place every day. This is totally different. These people were really living life the way that we do and getting a real experience of what it is to be on the road.
So that's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask what it is, but it's a singing competition.
And they have to perform in front of somebody else's.
You don't want to get voted off the bus is the
bus
thing.
Okay.
You don't want to get it voted off the show. There's a show every city we go. And every show, the people that are coming in, all they know is they've come in to see Keith Urban. And so you guys are all the opening act. They could boo you. They are not here to see you.
Yeah.
So you have to win them over, and they're all going to vote for their favorite person tonight. And it's a different audience everywhere we go. It's a different club everywhere we go, and they are not your audience. This is not, your hometown family and friends, tavern down at the end of the block.
So what do you tell the singer?
What a brilliant idea.
How do you teach them to win over an audience that was not there to see them?
It's unique to every artist. Each one of them is a little bit different, has different character abilities, has different vocal abilities, has different stage ability. I mean, so I worked with what each one of them had.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was you got lipstick on your teeth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was, seriously, you're going to wear that dress? Did you see the height of the stage?
Yeah.
And sometimes it was just get out there and kill it. Do what you always do. Sometimes it was as simple as, hey, every other girl tonight played a guitar. Nobody worked the stage. Lose the guitar. I know you feel comfortable with the guitar, but tonight, if you want to win the competition tonight, lose the guitar, play the stage, work the audience a little bit more. That's the one thing that you can get tonight that nobody else had. It was just little tricks because none of them were bad. They're all very talented.
Of course, right.
And they all just had a little bit something different. I think about all of them a lot. Yeah. I got really close to a few of them. They called me the tour momager.
Oh, because that's your role. You're the tour manager.
Yeah,
that was my role for the show. But yeah. You can't help but getting a little bit, emotionally attached to.
Do you know who won?
I do.
Okay, so all right, so good. Well,
we can't wait to watch it.
It looks like it's a great concept, right? It's kind of cool where it's real life, it's real.
It is
up and coming people,
and I haven't seen hardly anything. Maybe just the same promos that everybody else has seen. What I do know is, like I said, it's really different. It's unique. I think the audience is going to see more behind the scenes than they ever do.
Yeah.
I mean, the cameras are backstage in the wings.
Oh, I love that.
As I'm, as they're checking their ears, checking their guitars, as I'm giving them their final sip of water, and so you get to see the nervousness, the excitement, the last minute things, and
I love that stuff. That's
real.
That's so cool to see.
And the other thing I've noticed is just with Taylor being who he is, it just looks beautiful. What little pieces I have seen of it, the coloring, the lighting, it's just a really almost sepia toned, nostalgic looking piece of art.
Yellowstone-y. Like beautiful, like Yellowstone.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think he just kind of does that to everything that he works on.
Right.
He just makes it really warm. It's just got a really warm tone to it.
You and Keith got to town he was here with the ranch right about the time you got here. So you and Keith must have a really good rapport too.
Well, I mean, Keith is a little bit untouchable. He's like, I don't know. He's like a real star, He's a star, Blake is too. I guess I just never look at myself in that same way. I show up with my entourage as one other chick, It's me and this one other chick, and it's all. I don't travel with security or a team of people, and they do. And I think it's because they're that busy. It takes a team of people to, do all of the things that they do. But Blake is just hilarious.
He's funny.
And I think Blake had a lot to do with me getting that opportunity.
Yeah.
They were like looking for somebody who would be soft enough to deal with these people with their emotions and everything, but also strong enough and I don't take any bull crap kind of person too. So I think it was Blake that said, well, if that's what you're looking for, you want Gretchen, So I have him to thank for getting me the gig to begin with, but Keith's work ethic. I mean, I was just blown away with his, night after night, show after show, to get on these little stages in these honky-tonks and just kill it. I mean, he's fabulous.
He is fabulous.
He does not have to be doing that.
No,
right.
No. Right. And he's just, and a lot of times he sends the band off the stage and he just stands up there, just him and that electric, and just.
Who can play electric guitar like him?
Yeah.
Whew.
I don't know. He's given. I mean, as far as who's the sexiest guy on the set, he's given Taylor a run for his money. I'll tell you that.
Did it kind of take you back when you were with these young artists and they're hustling on stage? It kind of take you back to your early days?
There were a few moments when I gave advice that I was like,
what is that mooing? Did y'all hear that?
Well, the noise is my camera that's sweeping back and forth, and it's getting hung up, so it goes. It sounds like me when I wake up.
I thought it was a legit mooing.
No,
it was somebody's ringer.
It's that center camera.
Y'all, I brought my cow.
Did you hear it? You heard it this whole time, right?
Yes, I've been hearing it.
Right.
I figured it was the movement of the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I thought it was somebody's ringtone.
I think I tightened it too hard down on the tripod. But anyway.
It sounds like a cow.
What is that mooing?
Sorry, Gretchen. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. I ate a little bit of.
You started, but to her question,
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
You started in small venues and on small stages, and with the Music Mafia in small pubs and stuff like that. So you
there was
really
a couple
got to
of
learn.
Times, there was a couple of times when I offered advice, and the reaction from them was. Ooh, yep. I remember when I behaved that way, and
Really?
I remember how it got me absolutely nowhere. Yeah. But I had to just let those kind of things happen.
Yeah.
Those are, some people
It's growing up in the business.
have to learn
They have to learn
from their own mistakes.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I can't wait to see the show. When does it premiere?
Well, I think I just saw a promo that said October, which surprises me. I thought it was going to be September, but I think it said October something.
Okay.
I think the October you get into the heavier viewing periods of TV, so it would make sense that they would put that show on.
It's really different for Taylor, though. You're right. He usually does. Reality TV is not something that I guess this will be his first.
Right.
Yeah. What does Grace think about it all?
Grace was pretty excited about the Masked Singer. I wasn't going to let her in, but I had to because they involved her and her new husband towards the end of the show. So that's how she got in on that. But I don't know. Having a daughter has been quite the experience. Ha ha. But
if you're listening, she pointed up to God.
Yeah. It's been, from the moment that the doctor said it's a girl, I was like, what? What am I going to do? But it's been something. She's the most amazing, most awesome thing on the planet, but probably the only person in the world that I'm afraid of too. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
Great. Well, you have her on your guitar strap, so she's literally on your heart when you're performing.
She is,
she's She's amazing. And
she is amazing. She's such I don't know how I raised such a smart, independent, just thoughtful, creative, imaginative, just beautiful person. I don't know how I did that. I look back on it all and I'm like, I must have done a few things right. Because, as a parent, you look back and you just go, I should have done this better and I should have done that better and I could have. But, I like I said, she's great. So I guess the things that I did wrong made her just as capable and strong and smart as the things that I did right. Looking back on it, we all think that we're in control, but we're really not. It's the man upstairs that she looked at me when she was like 6 years old and said the most incredible thing. I was having a bad day and I think I was having like a panic attack and she was 6 maybe. And she's, well, what's wrong, Mommy? And I said, Grace, I'm just so afraid that, I'm afraid that someday, I might lose you.
Yeah.
And she said to me, well, that's the most ridiculous thing that anybody could ever say, Mommy, because how could you possibly lose me if I was never yours to begin with?
Oh.
Wow.
And, it dawned on me.
For a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was never yours to begin with, Mom. You can't lose something that never was yours to begin with.
Yeah.
What a brilliant little girl.
Yeah.
And then you went up and wrote a song with that as the hook.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Sure should have.
You should. Do it now.
Yeah.
That sounds...
But I should have known then that she was just beyond me, that nothing, it really didn't matter. I was going to do the best I could, and I did. Craig Campbell, my publicist, not the singer.
Not
Craig
the
Campbell,
singer.
the original Craig Campbell, who is my publicist. He tells people all the time about how, I was on top of the world and winning Grammy Awards and stuff, but yet, big money gig would come in and I would be like, nope, can't go on that date. That's the musical, that's the 3rd grade musical.
Oh.
Can't miss it, and I did all those things. But again, you look back and you're like, good, the career, it really had me moving around a lot. And should I have been home more? And
well, you were there for the 3rd grade musical.
I was there for, the moments that I think as an adult she'll look back and see in the photographs,
Yeah.
Was I there sitting on the ground playing with the horsies and the barns and stuff enough? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
You get to this age and you start looking back at all of that's why I think I can't wait to be a grandma because you do, and everybody tells me that. You do it different. When you're a grandparent, you manage to take the time that you didn't when you were. But
you want to give your kids a better life than you had too, and you've done that with Kerr, and now she gets the opportunity in the future, hopefully, to do that as well.
So independent, though. Like this kid could have so many different things going on in her life and her career right now, but she just refuses to ride even a thread of a coattail.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
She just will not. The name dropping of me strictly prohibited.
Oh wow,
because she's a performer too, right?
Oh yeah.
She is, but she kind of put that aside. She was in the middle of college when COVID hit, so she she sings circles around me. She's amazing. But she put it on hold because she was like, Mom, Broadway is closed. We don't know if it's opening back up, so I think it would be wise for me to finish, this hard-earned dollars that you put away for college money. Might be good for me to, have a degree in something that I can actually use.
What a wise girl.
Well, she's always been ahead of her time then, right?
She switched her degree to this. Actually, she's a film editor.
Well,
and she's working on like 3 projects at once right now. She's editing a medical documentary for some team that she works for full time, and then she does videos and music videos and all kinds of stuff. She does photography. And she does all my social media because I can't even open a
Love that.
Twitter.
X. They made it easy. X.
Yeah. So no TikToks from Gretchen.
She does it all for me. When something important happens in my life, I send a picture and I go, Grace, can you post this across all of the formats with this? So it's always coming from me.
Yeah.
But I don't even, like, when people send me something, they'll be like, hey, watch this hilarious video on X. And I'm like, I hit X and then it goes, log in, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't
Just
have
send
that
me a
information.
screenshot.
But that's good for me. I'm 52 years old, and
You
it's
don't
good
need to
for
get
me
in
to.
that
Oh, if
swamp.
I went
Yeah.
down that rabbit hole,
It's not.
who even knows what would happen?
If you
It
get
wastes a
stressed
lot.
out over everything, just go online for a little while, and you'll really
my
be stressed out.
OCD is
it's
off the charts.
bad.
So who knows? I would probably start compartmentalizing and like organizing. Okay, here are the really haters, and here's the sort of haters, and here's the medium haters.
Well, then you have to figure out what's true and what's not true. You're so humble about everything, and it's so refreshing. But I always feel like you're like, go ahead and challenge me, right? Like you always like, go ahead, challenge me,
Doubt me.
right? And that you kind of feed off that in a way. I don't know. Is that maybe totally off?
I don't know. I think I've spent my whole life having to be in control and to control the narrative on everything. So I think that a lot of what I have in my future right now is trying to figure out how to relinquish some of that, and of course I started with God, and that has been a lifesaver for me, just learning how to be able to, because I mean, from a very early age, I had to put up these guardrails and this wall and really sort of become the person that everybody thinks I am. I sort of had to be that. I'm a June 26th. That's my birthday. So I'm a Cancer, a crab. So I think it's really fitting when you look at the way that a crab behaves. They have the exterior hard shell, and they kind of come at you like, you stay away from me or I will get you, but inside really they're soft.
Yeah.
They're very, I sit at home sometimes and I'm like, thank goodness I don't have like a camera like you guys have in this room right here,
Right.
because I will watch a farmer's dog commercial and just weep. And then I pet did you see that? Puppy dog is so cute, puppy dog. And I get like that. But yet, one of my family members could croak and I'm like, he had it coming.
It was his time.
It's like, I don't know.
gosh.
I mean, it's just such a weird life that I've lived that sometimes I wonder, I'm like, do I have a feeling left? Is there a feeling in there? But yeah, I find myself now wanting, like, I don't know. It would be nice if I met somebody who took care of me every once in a while.
Yeah.
I feel like I spent my whole life taking care of everybody.
Yeah, from your childhood on.
I'm still a member of what, they call the sandwich generation, where you're taking care of the household in front of you and the one behind you.
Right.
Your mom.
My mom. Now, my daughter, obviously, like I said, she went, I don't want no more help. I'm self-sufficient. You can have that back. No more rules. No more your way. I am my own person.
But as a parent, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
It stung.
Maybe a little
Did it?
extreme.
It stung.
Okay, right.
But
I got
yes,
you.
but in hindsight, looking back, I'm like, wow, what a cool chick she is.
Yeah.
Right.
And you
Right.
like
I
her
raised
husband?
independent.
You love her husband?
I love her husband. He's
Thank
the
goodness
perfect
for that, right?
counterpart.
Yeah.
You hope and pray that they find somebody that can calm them and that loves them, and that knows how to deal with them. I think that's probably your biggest worry is, as a single mom, it was like, well, when she gets like this is what you got to do, and now I find my son-in-law and he's like, don't worry, Mom, I know what to do when she gets like this,
Oh, what a
So,
blessing.
Yeah, it is good.
We you gave us an hour because you're a businesswoman. You have a lot of stuff going on here, but I want to ask you just your opinion, your overall state of country music right now. When you look at the landscape, what's happening?
I'm hopeful.
Okay.
I think
What
that's
gives
a
you
good
hope?
word. Some of the new artists.
Yeah.
Like who? Any shout outs you want to give?
I like Ella a lot.
Yeah.
I like
Love
Ella
her.
Langley
Yeah.
a lot. She's got a swagger about her. She's got that when I think of Ella Langley, that's what I think. She's a great songwriter, obviously very talented, but the swagger that she's bringing, I don't give a crap that she just she could just walk on stage and just walk across the stage with her arms the way she does, kind of turn around and look back again and leave, and she would get a standing ovation. That is that's star quality stuff. The way that I love that. Lainey has changed the landscape, obviously.
Yeah.
Lainey she's an icon.
Yeah.
I think I started getting hopeful when Lainey came around for the women. I got hopeful before that. And it would have been, when I'm blanking on
Your
his name
CMA
right now.
performance.
No, when I'm blanking, come on. He's the greatest singer of all time in country music. Very rough vocal, Steel Drivers.
So, we'll get it here in a second. It'll come to us. We're 50s.
Yes.
We can do this. We're allowed to hit pause.
I don't want to guess somebody because I don't want to be wrong.
We have name dropped you before, Gretchen, and so like we have like Tiger Lily in here. We have Sarah Duguay in here, and when your name comes up, they light up because you were so influential in their youth. Yeah. Oh, is that
Stapleton?
Okay. Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
Right.
When Chris Stapleton came around, I was like, oh, finally, Nashville's getting it right.
Yeah.
They're listening instead of looking.
Yes,
you know,
we're telling stories again.
Nothing against Chris, but I think Chris knows that he's not and wasn't a 21-year-old supermodel looking dude. You know what I mean? He's shy. He's different. He's very country. He's
real. He's real.
And I've had the opportunity to write with him a few times before the world knew who he was, and I mean, he's very kind of inward.
Yes.
He's not a superstar celebrity type. And I think maybe that's what took him so many years to get to it. But I mean, if I was a guy in country music, the minute that guy opened his mouth, I'd have just went home. Yeah. I'd have just said, that's it. I mean, there is. Well,
that's what Terry Clark said about you first time she heard you. Yes. So you've been there.
Such a sweetheart.
Let me tell you something.
I love Terry.
He's tough interview on the red carpet because he doesn't want to be there, right? And he doesn't want to talk about himself. He wants to talk about music, and you have to love that.
If Morgan wasn't standing there, I don't know that anybody would say anything. Right, honestly.
Right, and they come to you before they show up and say, "Please include Morgan in the conversation," right? And that's because of Chris.
Well, yeah.
And it's just a wonderful thing to watch those two operate together.
They're a great team.
Morgan is a huge part of that sound.
Absolutely.
And she deserves a lot of credit for probably even more than what we know. But yeah, what an incredible duo they are.
They are a team,
I hope that they continue to do what they're doing, and I hope they don't care what anybody's talking about or who's saying what about them. Hopefully I didn't say anything that offended them.
Absolutely
Chris,
not. I don't think so.
You're a little bit inward, and Morgan, thank God you got his back.
But you also said you gave hope to the whole genre. I think that's a pretty good compliment to go with.
Yes. If it wouldn't have been for him, I was sitting at home going, well, I guess it's classic rock again today.
But Gretchen, I think they all think that about you. You walked so they could all run.
It was different coming back around this last CMA fest. It reminded me of my first CMA fest when I was walking around going, oh my gosh, there's Reba McEntire, and oh my God. I was hearing those whispers, but they were all these youngsters saying that about me. Right. And I would walk by and like some girl and I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know who she was, but she was like, oh, royalty. Oh. And I was like, Candy, who is that? She's so nice.
Well, it takes me back to where I started. Like it was like when you met Loretta, where you met her, you were friends with her. When you talking to her, that's what I was seeing right there. And now you're Loretta. And
how crazy is that?
Right. It's a full circle thing.
It is.
Thank goodness.
I'm glad that we're in a genre of that. I'm in a genre of music that we're friendly to each other. That we have high hopes for each other, and that I'm not sitting here when you said who do you see there. I don't like any of them because they're stealing money out of my pocket.
No,
it's a rising tide raises all ships, and that's all there is to it.
There's a lot of good ones. Yeah.
Before we let you go, you're going to re-record some stuff, right? Mm-hmm. What can we expect? Give us some.
Well, I'm having a hard time getting this wrangled, but it is going to happen. Yeah. It just like everything else in the music business, it's not going to happen in the time frame that I thought it was going to happen in. So I want to remake the first record. Taylor did
Here
this.
for the party.
Taylor did this and called it Taylor's version and just released it on her label.
Is it going to be Gretchen's version?
Yeah, I don't know that I want to call it Gretchen's version.
Yeah, now it's sick. Hold on one second.
It's a moo. It sounds like a moo.
No, you're all good. Keep talking.
I don't know if I want to call it Gretchen's version because that's too much like Taylor's version. I'm going to call it something version, but I'm not. I have to put my songwriter thinking cap on about that for a while. But I'm going to remake the first album. I'm going to try to keep it as close to the original as possible, with the only exception is that I'm going to have guest vocalists on each song. So instead of it being just me singing Here for the Party, I'm hoping that it's like me and Post Malone singing Here for the Party.
Oh, kind of like, didn't Brooks and Dunn do this?
Yes.
Amazing.
I don't know if they did.
Brooks and they did that with one of their albums.
Yeah.
That would be a great thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, cool. Like, Holding You with Travis Tritt. I've always heard him on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who else would you love to have on there?
Well, I would love to have
Chris Stapleton?
well, yeah, but that's probably not going to happen. And I love you, Chris. Did I say how much I love you, Chris? I don't know. I've got some crazy thoughts. You know, I'm friends with Martina, but I've never been really close with Faith. But I'm kind of hearing Faith on what happened with me.
Wow.
You know, I've got some crazy ideas, but I haven't.
How fun for her to reemerge.
I'm waiting for
doing
this
that.
second TV show to come out. Then maybe I'll be popular enough to get some yeses whenever I make these phone
Let's manifest
calls.
it, Gretchen. Let's manifest it.
Yeah,
This is happening.
I think it'll be fun. The hang up and what's taking so long is I'm trying to actually get the same pickers that played on the first record in the studio to play on it this time around too. Wow. So that's 20 some odd years ago. I'm not even sure all of them are still alive.
I bet they are. Gretchen, thank you. We appreciate this. This has been a fun hour with you.
Thank you.
You are so kind.
Will you come back?
Of course I will.
And now that we're neighbors.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Gretchen and I are neighbors.
We have to go because we have to get over there and water your new sod. Yes. Like right now. You do have sprinklers set up.
We do.
Okay, good.
But you said you want a grandbaby, so you can come over and you can hang out with Andy. She can be your
test grandbaby?
Yeah, your test grandbaby.
Oh, yeah,
you didn't
she's
put
a
in
terrorist.
A swimming pool, did you?
No. Can we come to yours?
You can come over and go swimming.
All right.
You can teach her to swim over there, yeah.
Perfect. We are there.
Good.
Thank you.
There you
I've
go.
got the shallow
New
deck.
neighbors.